So, Gundam.
Yes.
Gundam, Zeta Gundam.
I didn't know how long you were gonna let that joke go. I was excited for it.
The so it was disc 5,
Yeah.
right? 21 through 25 is what we just got through, what we got through watching. Which there's
Gundam.
something
Very nice.
even with
Well,
it, even even with its even with its faults, even at this point, the very first Gundam, there's I don't know, there's still something kind of special about that.
yeah.
The I do think, though, having said that, that they've got so much better at storytelling
Yeah.
from the first 15, 16 episodes
Mhm.
in the Zeta Gundam. Uh, I really like how it's coming along, and I'm starting to believe that the best pilots they got are Emma and Rakoka.
Yeah. Rekko and Emma
So,
are both great pilots.
yeah, of that. They're pretty vicious, too. Um, the dialogue, it's still got some pretty rough dialogue. And I don't know, because we
I
watched the sub and the dub,
Yeah.
right? What was that? I missed it. I mean, this actually is full
Everyone
signal.
acts more emotional than any woman I've ever met on, that time of the month.
Yes.
According to
The
Dark. I didn't say that.
well, the at so far at this point, you've got Lieutenant Emma is a very level-headed
Yeah.
uh presence. Through that, Fa does
Oh,
definitely goes
yeah.
from
Oh,
0 to
yeah.
100.
Boz doing this the whole time, flip-flopping all the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Um, I guess you could argue that for 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the fact that she girl. I think it has more to do with a cyber new type.
Yeah. I'd say
A
probably
little bit.
Kotz, too.
Yeah,
Kotz is pretty emotional.
yeah, yeah. He is.
Look, I know I said this early on. I mean it. Kotz is maybe my least favorite character in Gundam. There's like one other character that is close.
Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I do. I do think at this point in the series, I'm kind of looking around, going, I would probably be somebody working on the radish. That's
Yeah.
probably where I would be.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be. And the setup's really good. I like the crossover where they build. At first, it's just Camille, then it's like Foul, her old cat, and her girlfriend. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, Will just brought up Iok Kajan. Okay, so there's like 3 characters that I think are the worst characters in Gundam, and Kotz and Iok Kajan are both one of them. I hate Eok so much, I forgot him. He left my mind.
That's how terrible he was.
I
I don't
think that
know.
Amuro definitely gets better over the course of the episodes, right? Uh, Beltorchika
It was,
is very much flip floppy, but Amuro finds his center again towards the end of the episodes that we've seen so far.
it's like they hinted, like, okay, we've got a bunch of characters, not excluding Bright, who has been there pretty much a long time.
Yeah,
And you've got his arc of why he switched sides and what he's worried about. He's like a couple of other characters. Kind of, he's a future thinker. You got Sirocco is a great character.
oh yeah, I love Patrick Shirako.
Um, he's like well, he's in a weird way. He's like Char,
Yeah,
but he's got I think he's a little more selfish, maybe. Trying to think what the word. I think that'll work. He's a little more self-centered, a little more self. Or what the difference is he wants to control things and lead.
yeah, yeah. Char just wants
Where
one of
Shark
those
doesn't.
things.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be a leader. Though he is getting backed into a corner
Thanks.
on that. Uh, on that, it seems like he's getting backed in the corner. This part in Zeta Gundam,
Yeah,
it was like, hey, you're going to have to it's like Shar is that guy that if you're working alongside, be like, look, you could run this thing, man. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And you run it better than anybody else here. Come on
Right.
now.
And he's gonna be doing a great job working alongside him, right? Scirocco is he's gonna be doing that great job too,
Yeah.
but he's gonna be telling you that he should be the one running it.
Right.
So
And you're going to believe
it's
it by the time he's done. I do
yeah.
think one quick thing I wanted to highlight is these episodes have something that doesn't happen all the time in Gundam. There's like a weird little spy plot of there's an assassin out to get Commodore Blacks, and
Yeah.
Char is trying to protect him, because he very
Yeah.
specifically doesn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the hook of his character right there. I mean, obviously you can get as complex as you want with his character, but the fact is, there's all of us know that he's more than capable of running at. You know, that if he had control of the Argama, it would as much as much as I like the captain of the Argama,
Yeah.
uh, it would probably be in better hands. You know, if you had, it's almost like the same way as giving would be putting Amuro in the Gundam 2.
Yeah. The Mark II.
No, yeah, the Mark II. I should be running this like a Rizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Char.
yeah, sure.
I do have one big complaint with the dub, and I haven't had any complaints with the dub really. Even changing Amuro's voice, I was like, it's fine.
Yeah,
And I had forgotten how much they mishandled Yazan Gable's voice. Yazan Gable is supposed to be like the sub has him as this sinister, like kind of crazy. I'm hunting you kind of guy, and in the dub, he just sounds like he's from Brooklyn.
yeah, and the it's kind of strange because you have the English adaptation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one that's done for the voice actors, right?
Yeah.
They translate it over and give it to the voice actors, and then you're going to have another group of people that do the captions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we turn on the dub and the sub, and you'll find that a lot of times they don't line up.
Right.
But in cases, sometimes the dub, what's at the bottom, what you're reading on the bottom of the screen, makes more sense in the context or fits
Yeah,
better.
it does.
And sometimes it's a sub.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I feel because I think once it was done to get it to the English speaking market,
Yeah.
I feel like they went. I'm sure it was proofread and checked and
Right.
everything. I'm not saying it's terrible bad. It just feels like it might have been a little bit rushed
Mm-hmm.
going through. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next half of the season of where it's going, and I hope, like overall, like I said, these past. I got the first one here. I thought the but I'm hoping the storytelling keeps up with where it's been because
Yeah.
it's really good. I would probably say the last, let's go 10. The last 10 episodes of this season have been the best at storytelling
Yeah.
by far. If the first part, if the first 15 episodes were up to that level, I think it might be a little bit shorter.
Right.
Might even be like a full disc shorter. But no, I don't know if I didn't watch. I need to watch the end credits or check the credits and see if they changed writing teams or whatever. Because you
Right.
get when you're going through this first half of it, you get Bright, you get Amuro, you get Mirai, you get Cat Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ayato.
Yes. Yes. You get all those. But that is just you only get. It's like they tease a story there
Mm-hmm.
and then move them off the board.
Right.
And so you're back to this. But in a way, I feel like that they kind of reset themselves on how they're going to do this story, how
Mm-hmm.
they're going to set it out. I think it's pretty good. I'm looking forward to like I said, I'm looking forward to the next half, or hopefully it stays as strong. And the dialogue is, the dialogue's not all great, but then again, well, it's like Cats, right?
Yeah.
And not Cats, Camille,
Mm,
when he's like, "I'm no kid."
right.
Well, you know, as old as I am, I'm like, "Yeah, yes, you are."
Yeah.
But I do not, as an 8-year-old, I've been like, "That's right. Tell him, Camille,
Hmm.
you can do this." Going through, and I've caught some dialogues from the Rings of Power, and they could have learned a thing or two from these
Right.
Gundams.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I do
I
think
think it's
we
pretty.
start to see an interesting shift with Camille here too, because this is when he starts going like, "Hey, maybe just killing all these people isn't a good thing. Maybe those people also had families. Maybe I, maybe I shouldn't just murder people because I'm angry."
Yeah. Well, he's definitely got. I mean, you definitely see the change of Camille. They finally given. It's like he gets. They finally give him the arc he needs, so you can start understanding where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And he does show over the. And that's another thing over these past few episodes. I mean, he has a lot of very redeemable qualities.
Yeah.
And as he starts listening to people, taking advice, and using that with his talents,
Hmm.
I
And I
think
think
it's
part
really.
of that too is Camille was kind of the whipping boy at the start,
Yeah.
and then now we have Kotz and Fa, and so Camille seems like really mature compared to the two of them.
Well, what they do with Fa is kind of weird. They with Fa's weird because when Fa shows up, she's a stabilizing voice for Camille.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one thing on that. Everyone treats child
Yeah, I get
support.
that. I get that.
Yes, they do. Blame the kids, reminding their kids when it serves them.
Yeah.
Right. It is. There's definitely some of that in there. Um, for that, and they excuse it through the episodes of like, well, we don't have time.
Right.
We don't have time to treat you like kids. It always ends up being the case that when people start treating, yeah,
Well, and I think there's a weird divide there too, right? Where I agree, but I also kind of get it because at least in this case, the characters that are treating Camille as a kid have been through another war not that long ago, you know?
yeah,
And to
yeah,
them, Camille is this new upstart. I wish they would lay off a little bit on the, well, he's a new type, so we need to trust his intuition. And then later on go, Camille, why are you launching? Like, I wish they'd
yeah,
lay back on that. But I do kind of understand where they're coming from of like, no, we know how to fight war. We don't need you to teach us how to fight war,
yeah,
even though they kind
yeah.
of do.
And there's times when they're going through that, when they're doing that, where it's there's I don't remember which episode it was, but there's pretty good. It was after Camille and Four met on Earth.
Yeah. Neo Hong Kong.
Yeah, and but Bright, it kind of has a realization. I think when Emma is talking to him, that, and she tells him something like, "Well, I can't be a surrogate mom for him.
Yeah.
We're in the army, and it's the commander who takes up,
Right.
the parenting role, the fathership role." And I think Bright kind of changes right then as like, yeah, maybe it's on me now.
Right.
But they do that a lot. They do, like uh, point out the tell them they're a kid or worry about them being so young,
Hmm.
and then yeah. But
I think it's
something
probably
like
just people, though.
maybe, but I'm liking where it's going. I'm like a lot. Like I said, I like a lot better now where it's at and how they've been doing with the storytelling. I think the sound's great. The animation has
Yeah.
come so far
Yeah.
from the original Gundam, but they've got, I don't know. It feels like a rhythm. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can ride along with this. I'm not trying to piece things together. Yes, it is.
Mhm.
It really is. Just in that short period of time. But then again, they also got what, almost twice as many episodes for
Yeah.
this.
It's
You can
it's it's
tell
a big upgrade
you can
numbers
tell.
wise.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you can definitely tell that. But like I said, with these last 10 episodes, if they keep up with that, the storytelling starting to catch up with the animation a little bit.
Mm.
And it's for kids,
Yeah.
you know, for so I understand that. So
And for sure, Dark Gundam is the war orphan story in a lot of ways. You're not you can't have a war without war orphans, and so you can't have a space war without space war orphans.
well, in the first Gundam, okay, you're
Yeah,
making
IBO for
that
sure. It's literally in the name, Iron Blooded Orphans.
what 30 years,
Hmm.
a little bit more than after Hiroshima
Right.
and Nagasaki, and it's almost like, yeah, that influence you
Oh,
can tell the
it
influence on the first one, right?
absolutely influenced Tomino because he was alive when it happened and had
Yeah.
to flee the city. It
Okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
influenced him.
Yeah.
That's why he's
And
always been very anti-war.
I think where, yeah, and I don't know, I don't feel that as much with Zeta.
Hmm.
It feels like, okay, I've got to tell, or I've got to put that one out there
Hmm.
for the first Gundam kind of view, and Zeta's starting to feel like a little more of uh, like they get the space a little bit
That's
better.
good, Will.
They
Yeah.
understand space, and what space war in space will be like.
Right.
There is one thing I got to point out though,
Okay.
and this is going to be kind of weird. Okay, we've dropped really heavy objects on the moon.
Yeah.
Uh, we've dropped I know at least two, right?
Hmm.
And you don't have to believe me. You can go look it up. Everything we know about the moon and how things work up there, um, only really makes sense if it's hollow. Now, I'm not getting into the hollow moon theory,
Okay.
but we have dropped stuff on that time. One of them wasn't long before this started. Now, when it dropped, hit the surface of the moon, and they had um, instruments up there to measure it.
Hmm.
That thing reverberated
Yeah.
for like 3 hours, and later on a another trip around the moon, because after we didn't go back to the moon, they dropped an even heavier object, and it reverberated for like, I think it was like 48 hours, like 2 days, right?
Really interested in where you're going with this.
So when that colony
Yeah. Yeah.
crashed into the moon,
Right.
that should have shook it. Even though it was 180 kilometers away, that should have caused some damage.
I don't know that Tomino knew about that when he did it. There's some stuff,
Sure.
especially as we get into some of the later series, that's still pre like a lot of the space exploration that we've done, where it gets interesting.
No, but well, okay. So at the end of the first Gundam, that you can tell something was coming, because, like I said, that the first Gundam series, I think he lifted from Dune quite a bit.
Hmm.
Put that in there. So it felt like there's other stories coming. Uh, when you get into Zeta a little ways, you definitely tell that the Titans are a just want power,
Yeah.
and they're going to keep moving towards that. And so yeah, after a little while into the vote to make give the Titans all the power, it wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
By that point, it was like, yeah, okay, yeah, they're going to do that. So by the time they mentioned it in Zeta, because they mentioned it a little bit before that,
Yeah.
talking
That
about the
there's a
military
vote
path,
coming.
whatever. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's going through.
It's
You know,
impossible for me to answer this question because I watched First Gundam so long ago for the first time and then watched Zeta. So I already knew it was coming on rewatches. But
yeah.
No, I guess when I finished First Gundam, I didn't have any reason to think because I was young. I assumed, well, Amuro's the war hero now. Captain Bright's there. They're going to listen to them, and everything will be great. And then now, of course, as an adult watching Zeta, everything that happened makes perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they hammer that. They do. They give you just how powerful they use. One thing they do in storytelling, and a couple of good scenes that are in early Zeta, is they give you an idea of just how much power the Titans hold.
Yeah.
That scene where Bright gets beat up by,
Yeah.
like 6 people.
Heck
The
yeah.
Yeah, that lets you know right there who are they going to answer to. That's Captain Bright. He was on the white base.
You can do whatever they want, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a really strong scene early in the series. But
see, I get where you're coming from there, Dark, but we didn't see a lot of that really in First Gundam. They didn't get into that because it wasn't really about what was going on with the Earthside Elite. We heard them called that, but the only Earthside Elite we really knew at the time was Captain Bright and then Slegger later on. And it's not, we get to see glimpses of like General Revel and people like that, but it's not really until Zeta that we get to see it really hammered home because most of the Federation side that we see is from the White Base. I guess there's the one guy that goes with them for a little while that's a jerk to everybody, but you could write that off as he's just mad that the White Base is getting more acclaim than he is, But because I agree with you, and there's a lot more we know about the Federation from later on in Gundam that when you take that in context, it makes perfect, absolute sense. But in First Gundam, we don't really get to see that much of a view from the Federation side alone.
yeah, yeah. And in the first Gundam, you've got two sides.
Mhm.
You got the Principality of Zeon, you got the Earth Federation.
Right.
And you've got
Ads are fun. Ads are fun.
Right? Perfect timing.
I think too, like Zeon in First Gundam, their message is hey, we want freedom, but we're fighting dirty. We're fighting the wrong way. And the Federation is represented as, hey, we want to fight to stop them because they're attacking us and they dropped a colony on us.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's, well, no, we want power. And it's, hey, maybe space people really do still need that freedom, though.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely because really you don't have just two sides.
Right.
In Zeta. I mean, you got the Earth Federation and Titans. Now they're two sides, but they're working on the same side.
Right.
And there's apparently a faction from Jupiter.
Right.
That stands for the Earth Federation. And then you've got so you have the Titans, you have that, and then you got the AUG.
Yeah.
It's got to build it now. It's a little Zeta's definitely a little more complex story.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the lines are drawn before you even get in the story. The lines are drawn for the first Zeta.
Yeah.
You know who's who there. When you start, I mean, with the first Gundam.
Right.
In Zeta, when you kind of started out, you piece together, okay, who's working with who.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a time at the beginning where Camille could end up, being a pilot alongside Jared.
That's right.
But, if things had gone just a little bit differently.
Oh, I love Jared. He's such a terrible person.
Stan Jared.
Such a terrible person.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
No, you don't understand. If the two of you would fight as if you were one, even though you've never tried it before, then you'd be fine. And Cinelay's like, I don't have any idea how to do that. And Sarah goes, well, we should try it, though. Oh, if only we'd fought as one. It's like, look, Jared doesn't know what he's talking about, okay?
No. Jared.
Oh, I love him.
Jared's a funny character because I can't stand Jared.
Right.
He's obviously not a new type, but he does have talent.
Yeah.
And he's got his uses. I mean, and look, the guys who's giving him the orders are doing their best to get him killed.
Yeah. Oh, did the Automod grab something? It did. It did. How that? I see why it did it, but I'll allow it. Yeah, that's Jared. That's
Yeah.
him right there. That's
Yeah.
why I love
Yeah.
him. He's so
Yeah.
dumb. His logic is, oh, I did something that I can't take back. Instead of feeling bad for it, I'm gonna have a moment where I go, oh, and then just, well, it's your fault. She was even out there.
Yeah. Yeah. If you hadn't have done what you did. Yeah.
And look,
And then
to
get
be
mad.
fair, Camille's not much better. You'd still be alive if you'd stayed away from me.
That line comes up with a couple other people. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, it does.
you know, yeah.
Emma says it
If
as
you hadn't come
well.
out of here, you wouldn't deserve to die.
Yeah.
If you haven't faced me, you wouldn't die.
Yep.
Yeah, he's so mad he killed Lila and Kakarkon. And the thing is, I mean, I got to go back and double check it. It's kind of Lila's and Kakarkon's fault. That
It
they
is.
got
It
killed.
is. It is. 100%. I think that's why I love Jared so much, is because really he's this tragic story of he thinks he's the rival, right? He thinks he's the Char to Camille's Amuro.
Yeah.
And he's just not.
No.
But everybody keeps telling him that he is. Shirako's like, Jared's a great pilot. And Jared's like, yeah, I am a great pilot. That's right. I am. Yeah. You know? And he's just this guy that smashed his Gundam into a building in the first episode.
But for the setup and for the series, he needs to be hated. It's good that you know.
Yeah.
You want that. Yeah.
He's Johnny from Karate Kid.
He's Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, that's also true. He has Johnny Bravo's hair.
Right? Goodness. Yeah, and I don't know what's up with the guy who put the guys who put the air car in the back of the thing to take Camille down. That one guy has, man, that is an impressive amount of hairspray.
Yep.
It must have took to get to his hair to do that.
Yep. Welcome back, Will.
That is what do they call it? Buffon?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. The Buffon made him look like a buffoon, but he was dedicated to it.
Right. Almost Pompadour levels, but not quite.
Yes.
Almost.
Goodness.
Ugh.
But it's getting good. I'm looking, like I said, looking forward to it. The steps they've taken, for me, was Zeta, the goods outweighing the bad. Because I look at the animation and how it runs, and some of the fights are really smooth.
Oh yeah.
You know? And Yep.
All I'm gonna say is Jared serves his purpose perfectly. That is, he does his job so well. If everybody hates him, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And I love the scene in the bunker.
Yeah.
Fall down. Where he tries to start. Yeah. Everybody in there like, yeah, no, we don't like the Titans.
We're not gonna let you go after them. Like that's literally a line. It gets me every time. Just this. You think we're just gonna stand here? What?
Yeah, some of the lines get me like, a battlefield? Yes, it's a battlefield, lady. Come on.
Oh. Also, just the idea of you should go shopping. I'm your commanding officer. You should just go shopping. We don't need you right now. Oh, there's somebody that's later in Gundam that I think is way worse than Jared. That everybody forgets about. He's in Victory Gundam. Wish for Mercury, I haven't seen the first episode yet, but I'm hoping to watch it before next podcast. Crunchyroll took it down. So.
Yeah. I'm looking forward, and we're going to finish this Zeta, and I'm looking forward to the next one. And then it's Char's Counterattack
movie.
Yeah, so that's, for me, in my mind, that is like the first package you get through. You get through all those, and then you can start, the second, the kind of second era after that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because that was the big like first punch of boom, 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 4 stories in a row. Let's go. No, not the prologue. The first episode. First episode's out. Prologue was great.
I'm interested to see how much more, if they've, because they've got three versions of the Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the old school, You got
Very nice.
uh you got the Gundam the Gundam Mark II,
Hmm.
the Gundam Zeta.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna get to
the
Unicorn. That's still a ways off, but we're gonna get there.
the uh the mask on Zeta is a little more jagged.
Yeah.
It looks a little more threatening. It actually it looks less Transformer or GoBots inspired than the first one did.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, in fact, the mask on the Zeta, the face on the Zeta, Transformers didn't do that good on something until actually a little while later.
Right.
Bring stuff out.
Zeta's so sleek. It looks so good.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, the Alex. No, just a reminder, everybody, we're doing release order after we finish those 4. So
Yeah,
some shorter shows and some longer shows, but that way we build him up to the new stuff so that he gets the foundation. Because Gundam is, we talked about this when we first started talking about watching Gundam, but Gundam is full of references. And getting that base is so important by the time you get to stuff like Build Fighters, because otherwise nothing's going to make sense. Like, what is the reference here? Whereas now you can go, oh, that goof's inspired by Ramba Ra. I understand.
No Zaku boy.
You know.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.